Today, I got another good one for you guys. We have the first theme team tier list of Madden 25 Ultimate Team. You guys see the tier list blurred behind me. We're going to reveal this one at the end of the video. If you guys just want to skip to the end, hey, before you do it, at least hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. But if you guys do want to see me talk about every single theme team in the game individually, maybe you're looking for a new team to switch to, or maybe you just want to see where your team stacks up, this video is perfect for you today. For our first team today, we have the 49ers theme team. Normally, I would save the best for last, but in today's video, we are going alphabetical order. I think that's how it's ordered on the mud.gg website, and technically the 49ers start with a 4, so they're number 1, okay? They're the first team we're looking at, and yeah, you get a quick spin running back, you get a quick spin tight end, with some depth at tight end, you get 2 good wide receivers. I mean, right here, like, this offense is perfect, and then you kind of go back over to the defense, and you have Richard Sherman there with Fred Warner, Javon Hargrave, and Chase Young as well. So just a really deep team. One thing I should mention is if you have watched my theme team tier list in years past, this year is different. With there being only 2020 theme teams, what we're looking for are those really strong points of the team, those really strong players on the team, because this year you don't got to have as much depth to build a 25 or a 50-50. That's not a thing anymore. All we're worried about is 2020s and finding those strong points. And to me, the Niners, they have strong points and they have that bonus depth as well, and 2 quick spins early game right now that you're boosting the speed of does go a long way. So the Niners, I'm going to spoil it. I'm not going to rank every single team as we go, but the Niners are the best team in the game. I just got to say that right now off rip. If you're looking to build a new theme team but don't have the coins, head to my sponsor, MMOEXP. Cheap, reliable, fast, MUT coins. Use code FREE at checkout for 5% off. A link for their website is in the description. And next up, we have the Bears theme team. So here's our first example of an all 32 team chem card. And when I see this, I just get rid of it, okay? When there's a rookie premiere or there's, I'm not including Hines Ward or any of the other guys on here. So I can't include them because then you got to include them for all the teams. And if you're going to do that anyway, it just does balance it out at the end. So if you're looking for the 32 team chem cards or the rookie premieres, I pretty much, I could put him back, but I pretty much act like he's not there when it comes to ranking or where I put the Bears theme team. But I do enjoy a nice quick spin running back. DJ Moore is all right. DJ Moore's card might be a little bit overrated for his price. It really might be. Greg Olsen's solid, but I like, having 3 guys on offense is definitely nice. If we head over to defense, they do get Montez Sweat. They do have Brian Urlacher. Even Daniel Hardy, you could use him. You could maybe use him, but he's not like a premier guy, right? So where the Bears are strong right now is tight end, receiver, running back, and you get a decent user with Montez Sweat. No corners, no safeties yet. So the Bears theme team, to me, they're pretty average, but we also do factor in potential slightly into the rankings too. And I do feel like the Bears usually do end up being pretty solid year in and year out. So that might help their stock a little bit on the tier list today. And next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals theme team. The Bengals' potential is not that great. If you think back the last couple of years of MUT, they really haven't had a dominant theme team. Even when they made the Super Bowl, that was probably the best their team was. And it really wasn't even, I think who they play, the Rams theme team was much better than their team was, even when that happened. But yeah, Bengals theme team, I don't love the potential of them. They usually haven't been good in years past. So we got to knock them down. But they do get a quick spin wide receiver in Chad Ochocinco. And pretty much you're just boosting this team, or you're only using this team for Chad Ochocinco. And I don't factor this into my rankings. But if you want to build a theme team for Chad Ochocinco, build one of his other teams. Build the Patriots theme team. Okay, don't do Bengals. They have bad potential, and their team is not great right now. You're really only boosting one guy. Joe Mixon, I could care less about this card. I really could care less about him. Okay, so we now have the Bills theme team. And this is the first team I need to address MUT leaks, okay? I know Keon Coleman's coming, and I know Marshawn Lynch is coming, right? But I have to act like they don't exist, because I can't rank them like they already are on the team. So just know wherever the Bills are, if they get both those upgrades this coming week, like Monday to it's probably going to be Thursday for Keon Coleman, they will go up a pretty good amount, especially if one of them get a quick spin or both of them do. That could be a big riser for the Bills. So I need to address that in today's video. But they have Josh Allen. We, of course, have a Stephon Diggs coming out next week, but he's all 32 team chems. You have Rasul Douglas, who's one of the better corners in the game, like stat-wise and size-wise, and being able to add to his speed does go a long way. But really on the Bills, you have Greg Rousseau, Rasul Douglas, and Josh Allen. And then if you get those 2 guys over the next week, that's a pretty good bump for them. So Bills theme team, you'll see where they end up, but just know, like, they're not great right now, but just know if they get those 2 upgrades, and if those 2 upgrades are good, the Bills could get it, obviously. They could be a big riser over the next week. We now have the Denver Broncos theme team. Really not a bad theme team, and it's because of one man, and that is Vernon Davis. Also, Broncos have decent potential. They actually do get fed cards a pretty good amount. There's been years where they've been good. I believe last year was one of those years where they were actually pretty good. But Vernon Davis, again, he is going to be a very rare quick spin at the tight end position. We'll get more receivers and running backs as the year goes, but tight end could be a position we maybe don't get another quick spin at for a while. I really feel that way. O-line, I don't factor in too much, but you have 3 of the 5 offensive linemen completed by your theme team, which is nice to have. Tebow, him on a theme team doesn't move me like it. Like, it doesn't move me like that. Only 84 speed, 85 acceleration. It doesn't really move me like that. You know what I mean? And then on defense, you're basically just boosting PS2, and the Broncos have decent potential. So pretty much you're boosting a quick spin tight end, a very top end DB, a decent offensive line. But I really do. I mean, we did this whole tier list live on Twitch last night, and the value of a quick spin tight end, we were kind of discussing it in the chat, and the value of Vernon Davis, it kind of makes a team, no matter how bad they are, like, this team isn't that complete. But the strong point of the team, again, with a 2020 theme team, you're looking for the strong points, and you have the best card in the game, debatably, in Vernon Davis, and a top end DB in Surtain. That's very strong. And a solid offensive line, which opens up more cheats too. So Broncos is solid. Next up, we got the Cleveland Browns theme team. Raheem Mostert, quick spin running back. Njoku is also pretty solid. We have right here the defense. You have pretty much 3 DBs that you could actually use in Jabril Peppers, Juan Thornhill, and Ronnie Harrison. And you get Anthony Walker as the user. And JOK, he's all right to maybe still use, with Myles Garrett as well in there. Corners, not great yet, but like a Denzel Ward upgrade. Martin Emerson's probably going to have a good season this year, so I can see him getting upgrades. Same with Newsome. I think the Browns have pretty good potential. I really do. But, receiver-wise, they're all right. I mean, they're a pretty solid team. Their ranking, I think, is in a good spot. It'll definitely reflect what I think about this team for sure. And I think they're just solid. Like, not really crazy anywhere, but just solid. That's all I can say about the Browns team with some decent potential. And next up, we got Tampa Bay theme team, okay? So, let's talk again about mindset when it comes to ranking these teams. Tom Brady, great QB, but we don't care about Tom Brady. We don't care about Tom Brady on a theme team. We would care about, like, look at JJ McCarthy, for example. I value him on a Vikings team because he's one of the fastest QBs in the game, and you can make him even faster. Even Josh Allen, like, I'm kind of on the fence with that one. Going from 80 to 81 speed isn't anything crazy. You're not going to feel, like, unstoppable with him. But say, like, Mike Vick, for example, he comes out and he's got 87 base speed. You can boost him to 88 speed. There's a lot of value in that. So a guy like Tom Brady, there's not a lot of value in having him on the theme team, especially this year with there being so many cheats. You can pretty much use whoever you want at quarterback. Like, unless you really are tied down to like a 2020 and the 9 theme team, whether it's a promo theme team or not. That's the only way. But Mike Evans, 85 speed, 6'5", really bad after the catch. I do not like Mike Evans' card, but I do like Revis Island and Richard Sherman with bad DBs, no pass rush help at all. So pretty much for Buccaneers, what I'm seeing is a very mediocre offense with 2 corners. That's what the Buccaneers really have at the end of the day. And their potential is not bad. They do sometimes get hot. They can be pretty streaky. Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber. I mean, it's possible. John Lynch. Like, it's possible that they could heat up, but you'll see where I put them. I think it's pretty fair. And next up, we have the Cardinals theme team. And this is an example of a team when I say the strong points need to be valued this year more than last year or past Maddens. The strong points of a team gotta be valued. So you're the best wide receiver in the game, the best running back in the game, and Antonio Cromartie on your team. It does get a little bit weak in there. I mean, there are some budget guys like Owen Papui, however you say his name, 87 acceleration, 85 speed, can be your user. I still use the card. Buda Baker, like, you probably aren't using him, but JJ Watt as well, JJ Cromartie, and then you get the best wide receiver, best running back in the game. To me, that's a very strong point, a very strong top 2, and that's going to be reflected today with the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe you pair them with a more balanced theme team or a theme team that fills the holes out. But the fact you have the best wide receiver, best running back, an 86 speed wide receiver as well, it's just kind of nice to have. And I would say the Cardinals have decent potential. Like, it's not going to go crazy, but they have some names that, you don't really think of, like Emmitt Smith, Adrian Peterson, like those kind of sneaky names. Even, of course, we know that Larry Fitzgerald's coming out soon. We already know that. So I don't really consider the Mutt Leagues, but we do consider potential from years past, and I think that the Cardinals are a pretty solid team to go with. Pretty expensive because not that expensive, honestly. Really not that expensive, to be honest with you. But best wide receiver, best running back, that's very valuable. Next up, we have the Chargers theme team. The right side of the line is pretty solid. Again, we don't value that too much. LT does get quick spin, which there's value in that, but he's a very overpriced card in my opinion. Very overpriced when Chris Johnson's for pretty much half the price. You also do get Antonio Cromartie. So honestly, Asante is a guy you can consider too. And remember that these cards, they get all of their division chems. A lot of them just aren't that good. Like probably only like Laporta and Asante would be the two ones that would provide a lot of value to a team. Like Cooper Kupp, no. Like it's probably just those two guys. So do keep that in mind. But quick spin running back, good right side of the line, good corners. Solid corners, I'd say. Solid corners, but really nothing else. So, again, their strong points are pretty strong, like LT and then Cromartie. That's pretty strong. It's not as strong as Cardinals, but Chargers is definitely still solid. Next team up is the Kansas City Chiefs theme team. The Chiefs, day one of MUT, would have had me real excited. If I made this tier list day one, it would have looked a lot different. 287 speed wide receivers. But now we know, I mean, that's fairly strong, but they'll phase out quickly. They're both undersized, 87 speed receivers with Patrick Mahomes, which day one would have been crazy. Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek, and Worthy. Damn, they're crazy. But now, I mean, all they really have is Revis. I do still have value in Tyreek Hill and Xavier Worthy. There is still value there, and I don't hate Revis. I think Bolton's solid too. Leo Chenal solid as well. You have a couple guys, right? And they even have, I think, some of the best potential in the game. I think in recent years, the Chiefs have been a team that have been at the top a lot because of them being good, them getting upgrades, them having hype around their team, them making deep playoff runs, which I'm thinking really far ahead, obviously. But even in just in the months coming up, weeks coming up, the Chiefs will get fit. I could see like a good Pacheco coming out. They updated his run style. Go give Pacheco a good card. You know what I mean? Like I could definitely see it. And he has the running style, the default stride, high and tight. I guess that is the Isaiah Pacheco running style. But, yeah, the Chiefs team's solid, and I think they have a really good potential. But they're not as good as they were day one if you built this team on day one. The Colts theme team is a pretty nasty one, and I don't mean that really in a good way. Really no one on offense you're boosting. And then on defense, you have Antonio Cromartie, Ronnie Harrison, Micah Abraham, and Anthony Walker. So they're like a much worse Browns, pretty much, where I can't really compliment the Browns. I would say like their defense is like solid. They have a couple pieces like sprinkled in there. They're not like great pieces. You know what I mean? Like they're not like amazing. I mean, maybe like a little budget team to help bolster up the defense. Maybe if you got a good team with offense or something. I don't know. The Colts team I really just don't like. Their potential is pretty good though. As you Marvin Harrison, Eric Dickerson, we know Marshall Faulk's coming out, you know what I mean? So you have a couple guys there that could go a long way for the Colts theme team. Commanders theme team is up next, and you got Vernon Davis, okay? I already sung my praises for Vernon Davis, and you also do get Ken Houston, Jeremy Chin's card with Bobby Wagner, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, Daron Payne. This is a very strong defensive core right here, with pretty good potential, like Deion Sanders, Champ Bailey, just to name two corners off rip right there. I'm probably missing a bunch. Sean Taylor is also someone that could come out at any given moment, any given weekend. You know that they give Terry upgrades, Andre Reed upgrades, just to name again a couple. Adrian Peterson could get a card at any moment too. Like these are all really good upgrades. I think a really good potential theme team that already has gotten good cards. I really, really like the Commanders theme team. They're really good. Next up, we have the Cowboys theme team. I've been known as, or people have commented this before whenever I talk about the Cowboys, that I'm a Cowboys hater because I rated their Madden team low or whatever. But yeah, Cowboys theme team's not good right now. They're really not. They're just not. I mean, Amari Cooper is not that great, and that's it on offense. Offensive line is solid though, which is definitely, if you're looking for a good offensive line, you can use all Cowboys if you'd like to. Trayvon Diggs is really the only guy getting boosted on defense. I mean, Micah Parsons' card is someone else you're boosting too, but outside of that, there really is nothing going for the Cowboys theme team. Again, their potential is some of the best out of all these teams today because they're the Cowboys. They're going to get fed with legends and stuff like that. We know how it goes for the Cowboys. But right now, they are not over that hill yet. They're still reaching the mountain. They're not even on the mountain yet. They're not even there yet. Dolphins theme team. You got Larry Little. You got 87 speed Tyreek Hill. You got quick spin Raheem Mostert with good potential. Like a Waddle upgrade, a Devon A-Chain upgrade. We know, again, that Ricky Williams is coming out. You also have Jalen Ramsey, Minka Fitzpatrick, Anthony Walker, solid. Phillips, okay. All the AFC East teams get that. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Dolphins. So I would say like a solid theme team. You're not going to see them too high. You're not going to see them too low. They're just solid, and I do respect their potential because they have a lot of fast players and are a pretty historic franchise. So I don't hate if you have a Dolphins team. I think that they're solid now, but they could obviously blow up and go crazy depending on what kind of season they have and things like that. It does kind of depend on their potential, but they'll be pretty good this year, I think. Okay, we now have the Philadelphia Eagles theme team here. They technically do get a quick spin running back in Saquon Barkley. They do. You get Lane Johnson, and then you get Rasul Douglas, and that is really it for the Eagles theme team. Like Jalen Mills, no, we don't really like boosting up a card to 84 speed right now is not like a strong point of a team. Haloti on a theme team and Hargrave is actually pretty solid, though. I will say that. I do like Haloti's slow but has high acceleration, so for me that's okay. And putting him on a theme team there actually is a little bit of value. Hargrave is the same thing. He's really high acceleration. I think Hargrave is one of the best DTs in the game because you have that super high acceleration right now. It's actually very valuable. So Eagles theme team, they got a little bit. They got a little bit to going for them. I think they also have good potential as well. We all know that Harold Carmichael will get a plethora of upgrades this year. You can put him on defense, maybe even at quarterback, offensive line. Who knows what they're going to do for him this year. But Harold Carmichael will get cards. And that also goes for the Cowboys team as well. He played for both. But Eagles, I see them being pretty solid, even though now they're still kind of down in the dumps. Okay, the Falcons theme team, you saw them on the thumbnail. This is one of the worst theme teams in the game. They are, believe it or not the worst, but this team is bad. That's all I have to say. Again, we know Mike Vick is coming, but even if Mike Vick is coming, pause, Mike Vick has other teams that are better to build. So it gets interesting there. I mean, I didn't really consider that in the ranking. I considered what they look like right now. And what they look like right now is pretty bad. I will say the Falcons have pretty good, it's decent potential. It really is decent potential for the Falcons if they have a good year. I mean, Bijan will get upgrades. Drake London will probably get upgrades. Ridley might get a UK because he's new to the Texans this year, or Titans this year. Things like that are definitely possible. And obviously the man Deion Sanders, Dickerson, Vic, like they're all most likely going to get cards this year. So again, the Falcons are low because they're very bad, but don't be surprised if they are a big riser this year. Just don't be surprised when it happens. Giants theme team is not bad. You get an 85 speed tight end. You get a quick spin running back and a nice little backup there in Eric Gray if you'd like. You get Malik Neighbors, who's nice, doesn't get the quick spin, even can't get boosted to it, but it's pretty nice. Only problem is with the Giants theme team, they do get good upgrades. I will say that the Giants do get good upgrades throughout the year, but they just don't get DBs. That's the problem with the Giants theme team. So if you do want to build a Giants team or have a Giants team, pair them with a team that is strong, like their strong point is DB. Because I think they do that. They get good backers, they get good pass rush, but they do fall apart when it comes to getting DB upgrades. And right now they're not terrible. Like Jabril Peppers, you can use them, right? But like Neighbors and who knows, I mean, they have decent potential. The Giants are one of those teams that are always kind of sneaky and get those good upgrades, in my opinion. So, Giants team, not a bad one to build. If you do want to build it out fully, it's going to cost you a little bit. There you have 2 LTDs to start the year, and Neighbors right now he's pretty affordable, honestly. But hopefully you pick Saquon Barkley. But I don't hate the Giants team. I don't. They're going to be solid this year, I think, too. And next up, we have one of the more slept-on theme teams in the game right now. And that is the Jaguars theme team. I can't lie, the Jags are slept on. You get Brian Thomas, who I think not even on a theme team, but obviously on a theme team, he's like an A tier to low S tier receiver. Maybe not S tier. He's probably A tier. I might be getting carried away. He's not on the same tier as Marvin Harrison. Like he doesn't get the quick spin. Like he's not in that value of cards. So Brian Thomas, I would say, is an A tier wide receiver. ETN, not as good as LT or not as good as Chris Johnson, but does get the quick spin at running back, so there's value there, and he gets 88 speed, so physically he's actually the same as Chris Johnson with Brian Thomas there. So you have 2 strong points on offense. And Evan Ingram, I would say, is also a strong point, being able to get him to 85 speed. There's all value there. And also, like I mentioned, Calvin Ridley could get a UK. On defense, you get Shaquille Griffin, who you can use. You get Jalen Ramsey, who you're able to use. You get Quincy, who you can use. You get Trayvon Walker. You get Ronnie Harrison. It's a pretty solid team with a quick spin, and a good receiver, and a nice tight end. I think the Jaguars are just a really solid theme team, and they can get the job done. And of course, you utilize your 32 team chem cards and things like that. This team starts to look pretty full. They look pretty full. And next up, we have the New York Jets. Offensive line, you're 4 of 5, which isn't terrible. You get 2 good running backs in Chris Johnson and LaDainian Tomlinson. If you only need one, sure, that's different. But if you like having 2 running backs, both that can quick spin, there's value there. Tebow, he's there. He's an option. He can boost his speed +1. Cool, whatever. But they do get Revis Island and Antonio Cromartie. And Revis's card is a card that there's a lot of value in boosting right now. He's only 86 speed, right? So it's not great. You know what I mean? Like we're starting to get faster receivers and things like that. But Revis does get universal coverage, and any way you're able to boost universal coverage, there is a lot of value in that. So Revis and Cromartie together, great value there. Decent budget cards across the board, even a Sauce Gardner with 2 quick spins. The Jets team is very strong where they're strong. They are kind of weak, so that's why they're kind of going to be on the bottom end of their tier, which you'll see. But where they're strong, they are very strong. The Lions team they're solid. They're really just solid. You get 4 or 5 offensive linemen. You get Sam Laporta. Hawkinson will maybe get upgrades once he comes back and he's healthy. Amon-Ra will get upgrades. You have Calvin Johnson. They do miss out on Barry Sanders this year, unfortunately. And for who knows for how long. You could use Stafford, but just probably use someone else. And Jameson Williams could be a solid wide receiver 3 right now. On defense, you're boosting Melo Famu, Anzalone, Jack Campbell, and Haloti, which is pretty good. It's a pretty solid team right there. And again, with these RPs, if you have a Lions team already and you have Terry and Arnold, you could, and you have a 32 team chem token, you could actually split Lions. And so you have a Lions-Browns team, you can split Lions-Browns and get them +2 speed if you'd like to, which is possible. But I should have mentioned that earlier in today's video. But the Lions team, I think they're just solid with some good potential. I don't hate, building this team right now. Put them with like the Cardinals, we're looking pretty solid if we do that. You know what I mean? Like that's not bad. A Green Bay Packers theme team on offense, you're really only boosting Christian Watson. Here's an example of a team where, they do get Laporta too, so do keep that in mind. But Rasul Douglas and Quay Walker's all you're really boosting on defense. So it's basically like Watson, Laporta, Douglas, and Quay. And Quay's even like, he's not like a needle moving card. Like he's nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Like he really isn't, to be honest with you. So Packers theme team, they're all right. They're all right. And their potential is also all right, I'd say. They've gone cold in years past, but also they've been hot. So we'll see where they end up this year. The Panthers theme team is next up, a very slept on theme team because Jonathan Brooks, also the Panthers are usually never good, but they are usually, in the last year, they were good at the start of the year last year. And we do know of a couple upgrades that they are still going to be getting. But Brooks, if you picked him, he does get the quick spin at 84 speed, which there's value in. DJ Moore is I. Steve Smith, I. They're both I, really, at the end of the day. These are both cards that will get phased out pretty quickly because they are somewhat limited with no quick spin in their size and things like that. But Greg Olson's there. You can use whoever you want. Pick your poison or use someone else. Offensive line is actually like you get Taylor Mott and Robert Hunt, who you're able to use. And then Rasul Douglas, Shaq Griffin, J.C. Horn, Jeremy Chin. And we know of a Luke Kuechly coming out. They're kind of tough. You'll see it today. I don't like their potential. The Panthers will probably have pretty bad potential. But right now, they're one of those hot teams. Maybe you get on them now and hopefully they get maybe 2 to 3 more weeks of being hot. Or they will fall off the face of the earth and you won't hear about them until we get a Julius Peppers strong safety. It might be that. It could be that long. You know what I mean? Like, it could be for the Panthers. But right now, they are a top-end theme team. Speaking of good theme teams, we have the New England Patriots. They always get good cards every year. I would say probably 3 of 5 offensive linemen you are able to use. You get Randy Moss, you get Tom Brady, and you get quick spin Ocho Cinco. On defense, you do get Revis Island. Again, there's value in boosting that card. Uche's a bit of a stud. Jabril Peppers is nice. You have some defensive potential, and you also have good potential with the team as well. With Randy Moss and Ocho Cinco. They're good. They're a solid team to build. They're really good. And you'll see it today. Their ranking will definitely reflect what I think about this team today. I really do like the Patriots team. I don't like the Patriots, but I've built Patriots teams in the past because they can get very hot. And next up, we have the Raiders team. If you've played Madden Ultimate Team the last few years, you know the Raiders team is one of the best year in and year out. There will be a run where they get fed like crazy. It happens every single year. They have Devon Diablo, who's a really good user on the team. But other than that, on this defense, you're not really boosting much. And then on offense, it's like Randy Moss. So you're basically doing a team right now for Randy Moss and Devon Diablo. And Amari Cooper is there too, with a pretty bad offensive line, which is just nice to have because then you have more cheats for the rest of your team. But Raiders team, really good potential, but really bad right now. And where I put them will definitely reflect that. The Rams team. Okay, the Rams team. Again, we don't care about Puka being on the Rams team because everybody gets Puka if you did your RPs, right? Cooper Kupp, I had him on my Cardinals team for a while. He's just not good. Simple as that. He runs routes slow. He is slow. Connor Williams, he is an upgrade, but he also has 81 speed, which is crazy how they did my man. It's crazy. You have 2 quarterback options, or you can go elsewhere. AJ Jackson out here too. So decent offensive line. But you have Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner, and that's pretty. And like Von Miller upgrades maybe throughout the year. Brandon Fisk, I can't consider Brandon Fisk, but Rams are all right with good potential. Remember last year we got the whole greatest show on turf team for AKA. Maybe they come back soon. Like who knows really what's going on with that? But they have the rights to all those players and like Dickerson and they could get hot. They could get hot, but their team right now is kind of It's Ravens team. There was a lot of debate about the Ravens team and how they should be lower. Let me know what you guys think when you guys see the final tier list today. But O-line, you get 3 or 4, or 4 or 5. My bad, 4 or 5. You get Derrick Henry and quick spin Raheem Mostert, a nice 2-headed backfield. You also can get Kyle Juszczyk. You get Steve Smith as well. If we ever hear the defense, you also get Earl Thomas. And you get Haloti, who does get a big benefit from having that acceleration boost. So you're boosting, they're not that strong on defense, but their offense is pretty strong. Pair them with, maybe the Jets. No, the Jets don't really make no sense to pair them with. A team with some good receivers and maybe a DB or two would be nice for the Ravens. But I also think the Ravens have good potential as well, which is slightly factored into where I rank these cards. And will there be longevity after you switch to this team? That's a slight factor into where I rank these guys, and I think the Ravens are. I think they're pretty solid. They're not overpowered right now, but the Ravens team's always some of the best every year, so it can definitely happen. Okay, this is the worst team in Ultimate Team right now. It is the Saints team, and they consistently are the worst. Honestly, they could maybe beat out the Falcons, but I would say the Falcons would beat out the Saints because of their potential. The Saints team, I cannot remember a time. Maybe there was a 2-week period. I think I can remember middle of the year where the Saints got hot a few years ago. That's the last time I can really remember. The Saints team, if you're a Saints fan and you play Ultimate Team, I'm sorry, because the Saints never get shown any love, which is somewhat surprising to me because they could get so many legends and so many guys, but they just don't get them. They just don't. I mean, there's not that many legends really in the Saints history. Way back when I really think about it. So I guess it does kind of make sense, but they get done dirty every year. They'll probably be the worst throughout this whole year again. I could see that happening. Seattle Seahawks team. Seattle on offense. Again, we know about a Marshawn Lynch coming. We know about that, right? We do. So that could be really nice for them. They also got Greg Olsen. That's their offense right now. Also good potential like Jerry Rice, DK Metcalf upgrades. Probably Devin Hester things like that are very good for this team. They are usually very, very good. But they have the whole LOB in the game right now. You have Earl Thomas, you have Bobby Wagner, you have Cam Chancellor, and you have Richard Sherman. There's a lot of value in that. Just off rip, just having all those guys. You can even use Shaquille Griffin and use someone else here at corner. They have pretty good flexibility. Pair them with a good offensive team. Maybe like the Cardinals. Cardinals Seahawks would be a very good team. You would add the best running back in the game, best receiver in the game, with a very complete DB room, and you can add Cromartie. There's really no overlap right there. Cardinals Seahawks might be the team that that's a spooky sounding team right there. I won't lie. So the Seahawks, very strong on defense. Where they're strong, they're very strong, and then on defense, on defense they're strong. On offense, they're somewhat weak with help on the way, most likely. We now have the Steelers theme team. Again, we don't care that Hines Ward is here. Every team gets Hines Ward. We get Najee Harris. I guess offense, you have pretty much nobody. But then on defense, you're boosting Mel Blount and Mean Joe Green. So, and Minka too, I guess, is someone that's kind of on the fence there as someone that's still pretty relevant with a boost. So you're pretty much boosting 2 cards on the Steelers theme team. That is really it. So that'll be reflected. But Steelers do have decent potential. Steelers theme team, the first year I think about is like 2021. They were pretty good, but they could be good. They could be. Antonio Brown, is he coming? Maybe? No, he's not. The Texans theme team, they've actually shown love, but to me they're still kind of middle of the pack because Nico Collins, 84 speed, Tank Dell, 84 speed. We're getting a Stephon Diggs upgrade next week, but that'll be all 32. No QB yet, which again, it's not a big deal, but a Stroud card could be kind of nice for a theme team, I won't lie. Joe Mixon, we don't care about. Joe Mixon is just a mid card. O-line, is it looking all right? 2 of 5, okay. But then on defense, they are pretty strong with like Derek Stingley, right? And you get Jalen Petrie, and you get Shaquille Griffin. So 3 DBs with J.J. Watt, and I guess you could use Anawenu or Amawenu and Sheldon Rankins. I guess you could, and they get the GOAT, Neville Hewitt. Shout out Neville, of course. So they're pretty solid. I think they're just like, they're not like, where they're super strong is just like Stingley, Petrie, and Watt. I guess maybe they might be. Yeah, I think they're still middle of the pack because offensively they don't bring much. They don't bring much offensively. It's just these 2/3 guys on defense where they're nice. Like a lot of these cards, even on theme teams, are starting to phase out already. Like we already have 88 speed, 87 speed receivers, and all these guys get is 85. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's how I feel about it. The Titans theme team to me is just a better Ravens because instead of Derrick Henry, Raheem Mostert, you get Derrick Henry, Chris Johnson, and you get Randy Moss on the back end there. And then on defense, you do get Ken Houston and Chance Campbell and Jeffrey Simmons. So you get a quick spin running back and another back to pair him with. You get a really good user. You get Ken Houston, and you get a good pass rush guy. So they are very strong where they're strong, but very weak where they're weak. They're kind of a min-max team where it's like they're pretty much maxed out at a lot of the important positions, but definitely want to pair these guys with a team that has good DBs because right now they are looking very suspect. But I like Titans a lot. Titans is strong. They have strong points, very strong points. Because again, when you look at a 2020 theme team, the weak points are not as important because you're not using as many players as we have in the past. I just want to reiterate that. But Vikings theme team's our final team today. Tristan Jackson, Randy Moss. Jefferson's still a card you can use boosted, like you can. McCarthy is one of those QBs in this game right now that I value on a theme team. A lot of value on him on a theme team because you can get him up to 85 speed, 87 acceleration, which is very good for a QB. So like that is a rare instance where I like having a QB, right? I like having it. If you're someone that likes using a fullback, they do get a fullback option. Ezra Cleveland, you can use, pretty much 4 or 5 offensive linemen, maybe 3 or 5, depending on how you look at it. You do get Shaq Griffin, and that's it on defense. Damn, that's it. And, okay, that's all you get on, okay. And the Vikings are known to struggle at DB. I mean, Paul Krause is coming out at some point. We know that. So they could be pretty nice. But I don't hate them as a nice pairing with the 2020. Like, they're like, yeah, that's pretty. Pretty expensive, though, but a couple playmakers. Decent potential, too. Decent offensive potential, I should say. But Paul Krause coming early is going to be really nice. Pause. But that's really nice for the Vikings theme team. Whether you just skip to this point in the video or you watch the whole thing, I do appreciate it, you making it this far in the video. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't left a like yet, leave a like. But let's unblur the tier list right now. There it is. My top 5 theme teams right now in Madden 25 Ultimate Team. Niners 1, Cardinals 2, Washington 3, Jets 4, Patriots at number 5. And we got it divided up just like this. We do factor in potential. We factor in the strong points. Actually, my second time doing this tier list because I did it the way I did it in past Maddens, but this year's with how theme teams work, you cannot rank the teams you can't rank the teams to their completion. You only can really rank the strong points of the team with how easy it is to build a 2020 theme team or even 2 2020s and still have a bunch of cheats. So do keep that in mind. But let me know you guys think down below, and of course hit the subscribe button, and I will see you boys in the next one.